Hey, it's Professor Conrad Pollack again, and in my last video I shared with you 4 tips that I thought were really crucial in helping you learn from and overcome your failures. In this video, I'm going to share one of my personal failures and how I applied those 4 tips to help me come back stronger. So, the first thing, one of my biggest failures. Yes, yours truly failed a midterm. That's right. I failed a midterm that was part of the program that you're currently enrolled in. And yes, it sucked. But yes, I got offers from co-op employers. I was able to get a full-time job with no problems. I was able to build a career. And now I'm fortunate enough to be lecturing and teaching you something. But the point is, it's not the end of the world. And so if we look at tip number 1, I asked myself, did the outcome match the level of effort that I put in? And the answer for me was actually no. The outcome didn't match the level of effort because the level of effort I put in was massive. And so that prompted me to actually look at tip number 2, which was seeking and welcoming feedback. And so how did I do that? Well, I went to none other than the professor of the course at the time, and we sat down and talked through my study approach. We talked about how I prepared and got ready for the midterm. And it turned out that the way I prepared was absolutely the wrong way to go about things. I focused on the structure of questions and getting comfortable with those rather than the comprehension of the underlying material. And so that goes to point 3 then, and that is to have at least one key lesson to take away from the failure. And that was my biggest one. It was that when I'm studying, I really need to focus on the content, understanding and comprehending the underlying content rather than getting comfortable with the way the questions are presented. Because if the presentation changes, everything falls apart. And so lastly, at the end of this whole experience, I took tip number 4, and that was to remind myself that failure is a normal part of the human experience. Yes, it's not pleasant. Yes, it sucked to fail an important midterm. But it was not the end of the world, okay? I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. I don't get everything right every time. And that's just how it is. And that's how it's always going to be. And that is just part of the human experience. But if you can follow the tips and take some kind of key lessons away from the experience, you can rise up, learn from the failure, and then come back much stronger than you were before. So I hope the 4 tips I gave help you and shed a new light on how you approach failure. And I hope that sharing my own personal failure with you has helped you understand that we all fail. That's all I've got for now. I'll see you next time.